Good afternoon, buenas tardes. Good afternoon, parents. Welcome, bienvenidos a todos. Welcome, bienvenidos a todos. Good afternoon. Welcome, bienvenidos a todos. Welcome to our Tech Talks and More, charlas tecnológicas. Daily activities that support language development. Actividades diarias que apoyan el desarrollo del lenguaje. Bienvenidos. For interpretation services, please click on the globe icon at the bottom of the screen and please select the language of preference for you. You then will engage and listen to the presentation in the language you have selected. It's the little globe at the bottom. Para servicios de interpretación, por favor, papás, mamás, hagan clic en el símbolo del mundo en la parte de abajo de su pantalla y seleccionen el idioma que les gustaría escuchar. Es el globito abajo de la pantalla. Y así va a poder participar y escuchar la presentación en el idioma que usted seleccionó. Muchas gracias, bienvenidos. Thank you and welcome, parents. Thank you. Everyone, welcome. Okay, we would like to remind you this is a webinar participation. So if you have any questions, please place your questions in the Q&A at the bottom. Okay, so if you have any questions, any concerns, please type them up and place them in the Q&A at the bottom. Raising the hand does not work at this moment. And also you can place it in the chat. Thank you so much. Okay, we would like to begin with a quote. Education is not the filling of a pail, but the lighting of a fire. And this is something an amazing poet, Yeats, once said. That education is not the filling of a pail, but the lighting of a fire. And that is what we are trying to do. Light that fire for our children and all our students. Okay, next. Our objective today is, as you can see on the screen, is that our families will learn to integrate daily activities that support literacy and language development at home. So this is what we hope you take from our workshop today. Okay, we are going to begin with our inclusion activity. And please place your answers in the chat. What are your earliest memories of learning to read and write? So your earliest memories when you were learning how to read and write. So please think about who taught you to read and also what your favorite book was as a young child and why. So think about your earliest memories of learning how to read and write, and think about who taught you how to read and what was that favorite book as a child that you just loved, and why was that? If you could please place your answers in the chat, and the other coordinators will help me to read them out. So
we have one that I think is the Three Bears.
Oh, I love that one.
Oh, and somebody wrote El Silabario.
El silabario, qué bonito.
Syllables, right? Book on syllables.
Oh my
And
gosh.
we have another parent who says she learned to read in school, and she had the silabario. And
Silabario.
then we have another title, Las horas y las uvas.
Ah, how beautiful.
And then we have
That's
early
beautiful.
Early Head Start Teachers, Brown Bear, Brown Bear. I love that book. Brown Bear, Brown Bear. What do you see? There it is. It's on our slide. It's the
Oh,
first
that's
book.
right. It's right here. Thank you, Elizabeth, so much.
And we have another one. Mi mamá me enseñó a leer y escribir. Mi libro favorito era Victoria porque traía lectura y escritura.
Oh, how nice. Oh, I love that. Well, my favorite book was Los Zapaticos de Rosa de José Martí. And my father taught me how to read that book. And I still remember it's a long poem. And I just love that book.
Our teammate Cyrene, nursery rhymes.
Oh,
And we have a person who shared that her brother taught her to read. And Mamin Pinguin was the book, or are the articles that she likes. A cartoon, I think it's a cartoon, isn't it? A comic?
Yes. Oh my God. I love children's book, and the first books and like Rhyme, The Three Little Bears. It's just so much fun to read.
And there's The Very Hungry Caterpillar is another. And then another.
And we have it up here too as one of our pictures, by the way.
Yes.
In Spanish.
Oh, el periódico La Opinión. Y caricaturas en español.
Thank you so much for sharing. I love that. The Hungry Caterpillar. We have it up here in Spanish. La oruga muy hambrienta. Okay, thank you so much for sharing. And hopefully this brought wonderful, warm memories to you as it did to me. So thank you, parents. Okay, next, we would like for you to make a mental checklist. So what activities are you currently doing at home to support and to nourish your child's literacy and language development? So think about what activities are you currently doing at home to support that your son or daughter's literacy language development. And we have here 3 bullets: reading or listening, writing, counting, talking, and explaining. So parents, please make a mental checklist. So what activities are you currently doing at home? Sometimes you don't think you're doing them, and you are. And it's developing the child's literacy level and nourishing that child. Okay. Okay, now we're going to share this wonderful video with you of this young man cooking. And so this is an activity he's doing at home. He's following a recipe, and it's in TikTok. So please bear with me for technology. Earlier, we were having a little bit of a challenge. So nuestra educación comienza en casa. Our education begins at home. So let's begin the video. Let me share the sounds. Give me a minute. Oops. Can you see it?
Yes.
Can you hear it?
Yes.
take a chance. I don't wanna explain to my friends. I'll leave again. I'll leave again. And I'll leave again. There's no need to stay, so it's time to take a chance. I don't wanna explain to my friends. I'll leave again. I'll leave again. And I'll leave again.
Okay, so hopefully you enjoy that. And this is just to show you how our education begins at home, cooking, doing fun activities with our kids. And what are some things we noticed in the video? I hope you can see my screen.
We can.
Thank you. What did the parent have to do to prepare the child to make the dish? What do you think the parent had to do? You can put your comments in the chat. And also, what vocabulary did he or she have to use to teach the child how to cook? What do you think? What were those vocabulary words? And what type of language development skills are involved in cooking? So what type of language development skills are involved in cooking? It's a fun activity, and there's a lot of joy and delicious food involved, but it really can help our child develop vocabulary, learn how to prepare things, follow directions. It's just a wonderful thing for language development. Please put any comments you have in the chat or the Q&A. Are there any comments in the chat, Elizabeth?
Yes, we have safety procedures first.
Very true.
Measurement, ingredients, safety. You do start with safety, correct? So that's great. Somebody mentioned vocabulary around cooking and math, right? So the names of the items, pot, pan, spoon, stove, right?
Awesome.
Enseñar con ejemplo, teaching by modeling, but excellent way to start with safety, right?
Wonderful.
Listening skills are important. Confidence, confianza.
He did have a lot of confidence in that video. He was awesome.
And safety is important. And all the skills that he practiced while he was cooking are transferable to the activities he'll do in school, right?
Very true.
Thank you, Cyrene.
Thank you so much for sharing. Okay, Elizabeth?
Okay, I'll take over from here. When you keep in mind, after viewing the video, keep in mind our learning modalities or domains, our domains, reading, writing, listening, speaking, right? So those are all the language development skills that we're using, right? When we're learning to cook, when we're teaching to cook, when we're modeling, when we're actually doing it like the young man in the last video. Think about what other experiences our children can have that that will foster intellectual growth, that will foster learning. On this slide here, you see that in grades K1, these are some of the kids, some of the things that the kids are learning, right, around literacy and language development, right? So the letter names, the letter sounds, phonemic segmentation, being able to distinguish the sounds in the words and the sounds that the letters represent, right? Being able to sound out the words, blend the words, and also knowing consonant, vowel, consonant patterns like you see on the right top section, right? You see words that are real and words that are not real. So you're going to see some, again, real words and nonsense words, right? So, but you know, in kindergarten and first grade, the children are learning to combine those sounds that they're learning, that the letters represent, and they're learning how to segment those sounds, how to blend them together to read real words and nonsense words. And we're going to continue to the next slide. So just some of the things they're learning in kindergarten and first grade. Now, when we think about literacy and language development in grades first through third grade, now we're talking about fluency, right? A fluent reader is able to read easily without having to stop, with precision, with a good rate of speech, right? A good pace, a good expression, and a good reader also will know punctuation, will know when to react, when to pause, when to exclaim. So in first and third grade, those are crucial grade levels for, right, for literacy and language development, for learning to read. And now, as we approach the third grade, depending what level you're on as a student, you're going to be learning comprehension. You're going to be learning how to comprehend what you read, right? Comprehension is important, but also important back to the fluency checklist is to be able to read the words correctly for accuracy, not too fast, not too slow, at a good pace, to read with feeling and expression. And again, you have to pay attention to punctuation. In order to do that, you make a pause when you get to a period. You inflect your voice when you get to a question mark. You sound excited or surprised when you get to an exclamation mark. We can continue. And here you've got lots of visuals, but here's some ways that our children can be engaged, right? And can help them, what can help them to learn, right? To read and to write and to continue speaking and listening and improving. And so here we have auditory, visual, kinesthetic, and tactile ways of learning, right? Of ways to be engaged. And you can see lots of examples, right? Where you're touching objects or you're writing out words in the sand. That would be a tactile strategy. Using the Play-Doh is also, you're touching the Play-Doh. If you're reading, looking at the letters, sounding out the letters, you're obviously looking at the visuals. Auditory means you'd be listening, right? At the bottom right, you would play a video and you would listen to what the letter sounds sound like, right? In order to read. Kinesthetic involves movement. So any sort of movement with your body that allows you to learn is another engagement strategy for learning literacy and language development. And here are some objects, and it could be any object in the home that you can use to represent phonemes or individual sounds. And so you basically would name the object, such as a car, and possibly have your child sound out the sounds that make up the word car. So right? Car. And you've got grapes, crayons, Legos, fluffy little things or toys. I don't know if they're fluffy, they're toys. You've got pasta, kidney beans, buttons. So any object around the house can be used, right, to engage your child in practicing those literacy skills, sounding out words, those sounds, blending, and reading, right? And hopefully preparing for that reading fluency and reading comprehension that they're going to need to be successful in school.
Okay, next we have a video. Please let me know if you can hear it and see it. We will begin. Let me click on it. This is a Sandbox activity. We're not going to see the whole video, just a few minutes. And let's start. You can hear it and see it?
Hi there, Miss Hendricks here, and little Miss and I are going to show you a fun way to practice lots of different things.
Thank
You
you.
need to practice for writing. For younger kids, it could be letters, numbers. Sight words could be for sounding out words, right? Spelling words for older kids or vocabulary words. Now, I brought this special box home from my classroom, so I realize most people don't have one of these. Can you lift it and show them what's in there? It has some really nice fine sand in it that she's going to use to trace her words or sounds in. But since I realize most people don't have this kind of setup at home, what I've used in the past when this box has been busy in my classroom is just any kind of cooking or baking tray that has a lip, an edge on it, and I've put a little bit of salt in it. I've done it before with both of my kids actually. Yeah. So let's show them how this might work. The first word I would like your spelling word, since she's a second grader, she has spelling words, is blend. Blend. So she's just gonna trace it in there. And they really enjoy the sensory aspect of tracing in the sand or the salt if you use salt. Flour also works, but it kind of gets floofy and all over you, huh? Good job, Sweet Pea. Dust your hands off and do a gentle shake. Very gentle so we don't lose any sand, right, honey? And now I want you to do goat. And I'm gonna tell you that this is a word that has two vowels go walking in the middle.
I know how to spell it.
Okay, let's see it. I'm confused why there's two A's.
Oops.
Okay, so when there's a mistake, you can just pat it and fix it up. Or you could do a gentle shake and retry the whole word. Good job on goat. Dust your hands off and give it a gentle shake. There you go. Now let's pretend you're a preschooler and you're just learning your letters. And I might say, can you write the letter that makes this sound? T, 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 t. So there's a way to practice letter names and sound. Or maybe we're a preschooler and we want to practice writing our name. Maybe we're a preschooler. Here, don't write your name, babe, but try this one. And I want to say, write this number. And I picked that number on purpose because even this second grader likes to write that number backwards. Whoops. And that's okay. We keep a smile on our face if we make a boo-boo. And we fix it up. There you go. Good job, Sweet Pea.
1 second.
As you noticed, we've covered
Wait,
engagement strategies so that, learning can be fun, right? And you can look at symbols, you can look at the letters, you can look at objects, you can listen, right, to directions, to video, and watch videos like this, use your auditory senses. You can touch like you do the sand, right, and use your tactile abilities to practice your writing, your literacy skills. And remember, all of this involves, right, reading, writing, listening, speaking. And also, in this case, she's not moving her body around too much, but remember, a kinesthetic way is also by moving your body to learn language. and develop that language. So we can continue. And Nadine, would you like to do the next one?
Yes. Okay, so parents, everywhere and anywhere is the classroom. It's an opportunity to teach for our children to learn and develop language and literacy and wonderful vocabulary skills. So as you can see here from the picture, we just want to remind you to take advantage of the opportunity. If you're at the table having a delicious meal, it's a great way to have wonderful conversations, talk, listen, discuss. As you can see from all these pictures, there's one thing in common. Everyone is talking and they are engaged in a particular activity. So talking to our children, asking questions, answering questions, pointing things out is just as essential to them developing the vocabulary and wonderful literacy strategies. Let me go to the next one. Okay, Ms. Lomeli.
Okay, so as you can see, this visual here in grades TK to second grade or transitional kindergarten to second grade, the students are learning to read, correct? And we're practicing and encouraging our students to learn by engaging them, by using their sensory skills and their sensory abilities to learn. When they go on to third grade and all the way to 12th grade, now they're going to be reading to learn, right? So they're going to be able to read, they're going to be proficient readers, they're going to be fluent, they're going to be accurate, they're going to have a good pace, they're going to know punctuation, they're going to comprehend as they read fluently, and they're now going to be learning, right, from what they're reading. Right, so the goal is for them to be proficient actually by the end of first grade, so that for those later grades in their pathway to graduation and then college and careers, they'll be reading and learning from what they read. And now here, classroom instruction, grades 3 to 12. And now here, these are examples of the types of things that they'll be reading, listening, discussing, analyzing, and then writing. So it's important that our students know how to read, analyze, discuss, listen about informational texts, and write, right? Informational texts, as well as argumentative texts and literary text. So the informational text we know can be something as simple as a newspaper or a magazine, or even the news on MSN.com, right? Those are informational texts. Argumentative texts are writings, articles, books that want to persuade us, right? There's an argument there and they want to persuade us. Maybe companies trying to sell us something. Right, so we need to be able to recognize an argumentative text and to write one, to give your opinion and support it. Also, pardon me, literary texts are the types of literature that we're familiar with: stories, novels, poetry, children's books, generally fiction. Those are literary texts. So our kids need to know how to write a narrative, a story that has a beginning, a middle, and an end, right? And literary texts, argumentative texts, and informational texts, they can all be entertaining, right? If they're well written, they're going to engage us, and we're going to learn from our reading. So let's continue to the next slide. And so how can you support your child at home? Oh, so these are things that you might already be familiar with, but it's still important to remember and to repeat, right? Have your child read to you or you read together. Ask them about what they're reading. Take turns asking each other questions. You can share the text and you can enjoy it together. Now, the second bullet is full of great ideas in our daily activities, things that our children could write that are part of our daily tasks. Write a grocery list. Have your child help you. Make a list, bullet, all the things you need to get from the market, from the grocery store. Have your child make a holiday card and write a message to a family member or a thank you note to someone that they're grateful for having done something nice for them. Maybe a thank you note to the mailman or to a family member who has done something nice, right? Oh gosh, as a family, you could write a newsletter, right? Those are things that might take a little more time. It wouldn't be done in a day possibly, but it's a project that you could work on together. Have your child help you write a letter or a note to the landlord, or even have them join you when you write to the credit card company, right, for a request or a concern or a question. Also, of course, now we're going into those literary texts. So poems, stories, you could write those together. You can be creative and take some time daily to incorporate these activities, right, that lead to literacy and well-developed language. So also to the last bullet talks about informational text, like what's on the news, having opinions about possibly what's going on in the world, maybe even politics, right? Ask your child to make an argument if they have an opinion about something, a strong opinion, for instance, climate change and contributing to preserving our environment. And they may have a strong opinion about that, have them support that. Okay, so these are all ideas of how you can support your child at home on a daily basis with these small tasks that help to develop language. And you can take a moment to look at what's here in Spanish. So these are suggestions on how you can support your child at home. So we'll pause for a few seconds. And these are great ideas, again, on how to incorporate literacy and language development into your daily tasks, or your daily tasks incorporate practicing reading, writing, listening, and speaking. We can go on to the next slide. And here are some other ideas too, discussing a show, a movie, a text that you've seen together or read together, right? These are good strategies, again, that you can incorporate in those times together daily, right? Think about what the author was trying to say in that movie that you saw, or that story you read, or that show you watched. Think about what was the writer's message in that book? What was the author's message? What was the screenwriter's message or the director's message in that movie, right? Play with the endings. What if the ending had been something different? What could it have been, right? Consider how things could have been different, right? And maybe the beginning, middle, or the end, right? Discuss the new words that you might have learned while you were engaged in watching this movie together or reading this book together. Make a list of those new words, right? Try using them in different ways. Talk to each other using this new vocabulary, and always encourage curiosity to discover, to learn new things, and also create things, right? To investigate, explore. You can go on that path together. And again, it could be small activities on a daily basis that you can incorporate to develop literacy and language development.
Okay, and this is the one in Spanish, if the parents can take a minute to go over that. Este es cómo puede apoyar a su hijo en casa, como dijo la señora Lomeli, a discutir un programa, hablar de una película o de un texto y hasta algo que haya visto o leído. Y como dijo la señora Lomeri anteriormente, fomentar esa curiosidad, ¿no? Es algo muy importante.
So here you see more opportunities, right, to nourish your child's critical thinking and English language arts skills, right, and English language development skills. So again, as Mrs. De La Vera mentioned earlier, the examples all have conversations, right, that are shown, right, and there are maybe things they're discussing, right? Out on a walk with the dog. What are all the things that are being said, right? You're listening, you're speaking, you're paying attention, you're enjoying nature, right? Here it looks like they're at the grocery store. They may have a list that they're following to get all the items they need. Here they're at the computer together, the laptop. Possibly they're working on a project together. And as you can see at the bottom, they're all having conversations, right? And they're engaged and they're present and they're listening and they're attentive and in their conversation and they're communicating, right? So those are all great strategies for developing those literacy skills, English language arts skills, and language development skills. Now, question, and you can put it in the chat. I mean, you can put your answer in the chat. How will you nurture your child's learning so that he or she could thrive, right? In school, in the world, right? On their pathway to their college and career. So just take a few seconds to put in some of the things that you may already be doing that we've mentioned, or some things that you might want to start doing. Thank you for putting the question in the chat, Ms. Irene. What are some activities, some daily activities that you're going to incorporate to develop literacy, English language arts, and language development?
Please put in the chat if possible. Thank you.
Okay, reading together.
That's a great
Leer
idea.
juntos. All right, maybe as we go on, you can put your ideas in the chat. Oh, family reading nights. Thank you. That's a great activity. You get together and you read together as a family, right? All right. Would you like me to continue, Ms. Loetta, or would you like?
Yes, please.
Okay.
I'll do the second Victoria, if it's okay.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so basically, in the next three slides, you're going to hear about Victoria. It's the same child at different ages and different grades. So this is a profile of one of our colleagues' daughter, Victoria. So at grade 1, at age 6, she's interested in her cat. She loves her cat. She loves to play and make slime. She loves to play soccer. She loves to be in the garden with dad, loves cooking with mom. So at this age, at age 6, maybe Victoria is headed on the path to becoming a veterinarian. She's so interested in her cat and she loves animals that maybe that's her pathway, right? Identifying Victoria's interests are going to help to develop her language abilities and her literacy skills, and her interest is going to be there as well. So in all these activities, in playing with the cat on a daily basis, in playing and making slime, there's language involved, there are words involved, vocabulary, right? And she's enjoying all these activities. So all these daily activities can lead her to that career and that success that we want for her, right? Also that engagement with her parents in cooking and gardening. Again, lots of language, lots of words, lots of activity, and also enjoyment, engaging activities that the child enjoys that will help to lead them on that career path, a possible career path. Okay.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Ms. Lomeli. And next, you see here Victoria. Now she's in grade 6 and at age 11. So now she wants to be an engineer. And she loves math. So she's now discovering things that she really loves and enjoys at school, subjects. And mathematics is one of them. She, of course, loves to watch TV, design shows, and video games. And engineering is now her passion, not veterinary anymore. Now she wants to be an engineer because mathematics is now involved. She's been exposed to that in a larger scale now that she's in 6th grade. And like Ms. Lomeli said, and identifying your child's interest is essential in developing that interest and whatever they love this week, this month. Always encourage that and nurture that because that does not only help with language and literacy development, but it's for future career choices and college and career that are coming up in Victoria's life pretty soon, now that she's a 6th grader. So now we're gonna see Victoria. She's a 12th grader and she is 17 years old. So now she's about to graduate high school. Now she loves being an artist. So things changed a little bit. Now she loves designing and creating. And one of her goals is to own her own business. And now this is the college career goals that Ms. Lomeli touched upon. Now she has applied to design schools. So identifying these interests at an early age, changes and the child's outlook, and it just gives a wonderful pathway to a career and to a future goal. So now she has applied to design school. Next. Okay, Ms. Lomeli.
Okay, so just a reminder to you all to create a culture of education in your home. I'm sure all of you here are already working on that, but you can spread your knowledge and share it with our other parents in our communities. Creating that culture of education at home is so important, right? Providing a space and time for schoolwork, a quiet space. Setting priorities, doing what's important first, and then going on to some of those other things, right? And as we went through this presentation today, I hope that you take with you those ideas on how those daily activities, as simple as preparing for bed or taking a bath or having dinner, how those are all opportunities for learning and for, again, listening, speaking if you're at the table, right? That there's also those things that you can incorporate, such as writing that grocery list or reading the headlines of the day on a news website. Value and reward their work in academics and in their learning and their accomplishments. Make sure that you highlight what they're doing well and encourage them. And as we went through the profile for Victoria, paying attention to what their interests are, that can engage them, right, into loving to learn, loving to read, and exploring those things that interest them. Reflect on what you can do to support your child, and then allow your child to cultivate his or her passions. And then those fun activities, those extracurricular things like playing soccer, right? Or,
Dancing.
being in a play, acting in theater, even, sports, cheerleading, etc. Right? Those are all things that enrich their lives, right? And keep them engaged and on that pathway, right? To that college, to graduation, and then college and career. And we're going to continue. We're going to go quickly because the hour has gone very quickly. We're at the 46-minute mark. So reading, writing, listening, speaking. These are the domains that are involved with English language development, right? So we're going to continue. So daily activities for reading. Read with your child, but remember to read fiction and nonfiction. So we know that fiction are generally, are fairy tales, or stories that are not real, right? You may have animals as protagonists in the story, as the main characters. You may have, stories that are fantasy, right? But it's also important to read nonfiction. As you can see at the bottom left, you can read about your favorite animals, right? Such as giraffes. You can read about space. You can read about, things that are around us in the world that are real, right? That are nonfiction. So let's go on to the next one.
And then I can do this one, Ms. Lomeli.
Okay, sure.
And the daily activities for reading, as you can see on the screen, please encourage your child to read different types of informational text. Informational text, for example, newspaper, magazine articles. They can read about, creating video games, or what new video game is coming out next month. Things of interest to them, but texts that are informational based. And this is just one of the strategies to help the child, and one of the activities, just, so they can read different types of materials that are out there and familiarize themselves. Also the sports page. My husband is constantly reading the sports page on his cell phone. So things that they have a passion for, they have an interest for. Okay. And also daily activities for writing. We encourage you, excuse me, to practice writing letters and words with your child. Like the video, she was doing the sandbox. If you don't have sand, you can use salt. And just practicing writing letters and words. And practice writing complete sentences and asking questions and having those conversations. So, and those choices, what would you like, which would you rather cook for dinner? Pizza or burger? And tell me why. So these are just some ideas and strategies so you can help your child at home. Okay, and next. And a little bit more daily activities for writing. We encourage you to show and encourage journal writing. I loved it when my mom bought me a diary. That was so much fun. So I can keep my memories or write my thoughts down, just a beautiful diary. Things like that to encourage writing in the home. And also to at least write at least 3 sentences. You don't have to write a whole paragraph, just write 3 sentences today. Or write at least 6 sentences. And then you could at least give 2 reasons for, ask them what their, give reasons or support their opinion by providing details or examples. And so hopefully these daily activities for writing helps you with your child at home. Okay, and then next, writing practice. Encourage the child or the student to write about an experience. The time you went to the mall, that time at the park, when you went on that last field trip, or when we went to the market. So think about a time that they had fun and it was of interest to them, and ask them questions so they can start writing a little bit and practicing just a bit. Okay. All right, Ms. Lomeli.
Sorry about that. I was
That's
muted.
okay.
So here we have some daily activities for listening. And as you can see in the top part of the slide, we've got some websites that are great for listening activities. PBS, Story Online, Discovery Education. We've done a few tech talks on Discovery, and listenaminute.com. So these are all websites that your children can access for listening activities. And again, think about what we already mentioned when you were going over a story together that you've shared, that you've read together, that your child has read to you, or that you've read to him or her. What happened in the beginning? What happened in the middle? What happened in the end? What was it about, right? What was the main idea? What did you learn? Oh, tell me 3 to 5 important details. So those are all activities for listening that you can do very easily and then incorporate into your daily activities. Give your child 2-step directions and see if they followed them, right? Tell them a story and ask them to tell you back what story it is you told them. Here are some activities that are really easy, straightforward for speaking, right? An opinion prompt. And this came up earlier in an earlier slide as well. What would you like to eat, chicken nuggets or pizza? Give me 2 reasons why. I would venture to guess that most of the kids wouldn't know what to choose because they like them both so much. But the idea is for the kids to be able to make a choice and then express 2 reasons as to why they would make that choice. Okay, so now we're going on to some summer activities that again are great for developing literacy, English language arts, and English language development. So there is a summer reading challenge that's taking place now. It started on June 7th last week. And this is a challenge with Los Angeles Public Library. You're encouraged to go to the website. I don't know if Anna D wants to go on very quickly.
I can do that. Please take a picture, parents.
And she's going to click on it, and we're going to go to the website so that your child can participate in the challenge, the reading challenge for this summer.
You can see my screen?
Yes, it looks great. You've still got time. We've got until August 7th. So it's a little bit under 2 months to participate, read books, ebooks, novels, magazines, listen to audiobooks, be engaged with the library and participate and learn, right? Learn by reading, right? And reading to learn. Okay, we're gonna go back. Oh, that's okay. And then on the next slide, we have the KLCS channel, which we've been tuned into all year, has a summer program available now. It started on June 14th, so this started very recently. It's from 3 to 6, Monday through Friday. You can watch on KLCS TV or stream live it at the link that is there. I don't think we're going to go to that one, right, Miss Anady?
No,
We're
I don't
going
think
to
we have time.
continue on.
But please take a picture so you at least have the website on your
And
phone.
also you can access it on television as well. But there is special programming for our students now that it's summertime.
Wonderful. And next, we also have summer field trips. My 3 favorite places are here that I have visited several times. You have the Huntington Library, and the Huntington Library is located in San Marino. Wonderful gardens, a beautiful museum. Just a lovely summer field trip. It really, really is nice. A lot of walking, so please take comfortable shoes. And then another field trip right on First Street here in Los Angeles is the Japanese American National Museum. On Thursdays, just so you know, They have the drums presentation, and you and your child can go see and play even the Japanese drums. And they also have origami activities for the child to do. And the Japanese American Museum is just a wonderful experience. I've taken my kids there, my students there every year for the last 8 years. And it's just so much fun. And then you could go across the street to the Japanese town, lots of good places to eat, good sushi, good teriyaki. So I just love it. And next, for those automobile-minded young people, you have the Peterson Automotive Museum. And it's just a lot of fun to go and see different types of automotive, the future, the past. I really liked it, and I was surprised that I did. I went with my husband, and they always have different summer activities for students during the summer. So these are my 3 favorite places. Hopefully you can take a picture and check them out. And on top, Ms. Lomeli, what is this one? Would you like me to
Yes,
click on it?
and I just put it in the chat, and these are the 16, the best 16 museums to visit in Los Angeles.
Oh, then this
And
gives
so
you
she
a
can
great,
scroll, if you'd like to
oops,
scroll
sorry.
down. Oh,
It's
not
going
so fast.
super fast.
Yeah, not so fast. The 3 that Anna D put into our slideshow are included, but there we have the Los Angeles County Museum of Art. We also have the Getty Center.
Oh,
And so again, the link is in the chat, the Huntington Library. There it is, number
there
3.
it is.
It's gorgeous. And there's a tea restaurant that we're going to be visiting this summer. There's the Broad Museum, right? And there are 12 more. Let's keep going. We can go quickly. The
Awesome.
Natural History Museum, the Hammer Museum.
Oh, beautiful. Mocha.
MoCA, the modern, what is it, Museum of Contemporary Art. Getty Villa, right? In beautiful Los Angeles. Griffith Observatory. Oh, you get a great view of the sky there. California Science Center. Remember, you can also take a hike up to the Griffith Observatory, as we saw at our virtual field trip of the LA parks. Keep going. And we've got the Peterson, there it is.
There it is, automotive.
And then we've also, and that's easy to get to, the Museum of Latin American Art, right? That's beautiful too. The La Brea Tar Pits Museum. And the Norton Simon Museum in Pasadena. And we've got 2 more. The Japanese American National Museum and the Hauser and Worth Los Angeles Museum. So this link is in your chat, and you know, everything's open now, right? It's still important to be safe. If you're vaccinated, you're really safe out there. But still important, depending on the venue, you may be asked to wear a mask, right? And we want to be respectful of each other and still try to stay safe. But it's great to know that things are opening up and we can visit those museums. And again, we're going to develop our language, right? And incorporate literacy, English language arts, English language development into our daily activities, especially this summer, that when we're out enjoying the great weather and the company of our loved ones. And Anna D, would you like to
Yes,
announce this?
we have 2 more Tech Talks coming up. As you can see, you're welcome to take a picture. On Tuesday, June 22nd, we have our Tech Talk supporting your new high schooler. Here's what you can expect. So hopefully you can join us then. And on Wednesday, our last Tech Talk is Wednesday, June 23rd, sharpening reading to learn skills for a successful new school year. That's a great Tech Talk to go to before returning to school August 16th. So hopefully you can join us next week.
Ms. Anna, can you emphasize the one for tomorrow also?
Oh, I am sorry. I apologize. Oh, and the one for Friday, I'm sorry, my eyesight. June 18th from 3 to 4, supporting our community's economic development. Oh, and next year we have the summer program, summer enrichment programs for all 6th through 8th grade students. And you're welcome to take a picture of the page so you know where to go at achieve.lausd.net/summer 2021. And the summer enrichment begins June 22nd to July 23rd, Monday through Friday from 2 to 3. And you're welcome to take a picture so you have this information. And as you can see, we are going to have cultural heritage courses about the history and traditions of the following ethnic groups. This is Armenian, Chinese, Filipino, Japanese, Korean, Mexican, Pan-African, and Salvadoran. Wonderful.
I'll do the next two.
Click, I'm a little frozen.
So these are some of the flyers that are going out because, as you know, the enrichment program is offered in these various languages. We know that one is, did we say, Ms. Arregin, Armenian? And we've got Korean and Chinese.
Japanese.
Japanese.
Oh.
Oh, sorry about that. Okay, Japanese.
So you're welcome to take a picture of the screen. Okay, and this is our information for our PACE office and our PACE staff. On top, you have the phone number of the Lanterman PACE office with our administrator, Ms. Teresa Arreguin, and this is her email.
Development. And I'll do the last one.
Okay, and our two our two community reps, Ms. Norma Gutierrez and Ms. Sono. And
Okay.
thank you.
So I'm going to go ahead and announce our great team as we have been doing for about 30 weeks this year. We have a great administrator, Ms. Teresa Arreguin, our wonderful community reps that Ana de la Era just mentioned, Norma Gutierrez. So no, we also have Olivia Rocha, who we're going to add soon to our list. We have Ms. Anita Martinez from Eagle Rock Highland Park Community of Schools, Cyrene Saint Amant, Glassell Park Los Feliz, or Los Feliz. We have Alex Campbell, Jefferson South Central Communities of Schools. My name is Elizabeth Lomelli, and I represent Koreatown Pico Union. We have Ms. Vilma Monson, who represents Manual Arts Vermont Square. I hope by now, those of you who have been with us all year have written down all of the emails, and please reach out if you have any questions. We also have a phone number up on top. 342-5734. And then remember, students can attend one summer enrichment course during the summer. So please make sure that you have your child do that. We're so happy that you were with us today. And I wanted to announce Miss Ana de la Era, who is from downtown MacArthur. This is our last Tech Talk together. She will be going to Local District East for next year. So we bid you a fond farewell, and we're going to stay close. And so thank you, everybody, for being here with us. Thanks again.
Thank you so
We'll
much
see
for
you
joining us.
tomorrow at 3 o'clock.
Tomorrow at 3, Tech Talk.